Good morning. Nice to see you. Welcome. This is the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel, and it's brought to you by the Metadigm Digital Network. I'm so glad that you're here today. Thank you for being on this show. This show is the Coffee Break Show with Vickie Helm. I'm so glad to see you this morning. I want to talk about something that is so important. If you have this one secret, if you have this one gift, if you have this one thing in your life right now, it will produce for you the most success, the most harmony, and the most prosperity of anything. And what is that one gift? We're going to be talking about that right now on the Coffee Break Show in 3, 2, 1. Now, welcome to the Coffee Break Show. I'm so glad you're here. I see you guys popping on. If you're new to the Coffee Break Show, I'm Vickie Helm, and we go live Monday through Friday. We talk about tips, tools, techniques. We talk about inspiration, motivation. We share things that create thrivability in your life. We talk about those things that matter, that help you gain more success in your business, family, and life. I want to thank you for joining me today. I see you popping on right now. Today's topic is super important to me. It's Topic Tuesday, and look who's joining us. Good morning, Vickie Helm and crew. Love you guys. Love you too, Papa Ray. Nice to see you on board. Thank you for being here. We have Karen on board with us like every morning because she is just the most amazing person ever. Good morning. Coffee Break Groupies. Phrase compliments of Stacy Stewart. I love Coffee Break Groupies. Thank you for being here. Today, we are going to talk about some of the things that are going to be the number one thing that's going to benefit your future, but I'm going to let you know. I know you guys want some sexy tool, some sexy tips, some sexy thing that's going to make you thrive or make it easier or make it this way. And guess what? It's not easy, but it's possible and it's the most powerful. And that thing we're going to talk about today is going to help ground your life. It's going to better every single relationship you have. It is going to better your outcomes. It's going to better your successes. It's going to better how you are acting in this world. And here's the most important thing. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you feel happier. It could lift you out of depression once we get there. And this one secret gift we're going to talk about today, the reason I'm talking about it is because I realized something and I had an epiphany. And I had an epiphany the other day that was so strong. I just want to say this right now. Everybody's saying, good morning, Papa Ray. And I want to welcome Donnie on. I love you, man. And hey, good morning. The number one thing is that's going to benefit your future. I want to talk about good morning, Deb. Nice to see you on. So glad. So let's get started with this. I had this really big epiphany. I'm watching all this violence happen everywhere else. And I realized that some people will react and become violent and there be an uprising. And there's going to be so many stories about things that happen. Right now, I have accepted the fact that I'm never going to know the truth, never actually know the truth about what's happening. But I want to be the truth. I want to be whatever the truth is because I think being the truth is harder than knowing the truth. So how do I be the truth? What's the truth for me? Well, when I decided that I had to go look at what's the truth for me, what is the truth that you want to be? I realized that I think all of the wrongs in the world are a lack of true self-love. Self-love, not self-caring, not hokey pokey. I mean, the hardest part of being and becoming self-love. I think that we talked yesterday a little bit about how when you don't have self-love, you react. You react to every narrative. You don't have any attention. You have your attention dispersed everywhere in the world. It's part of whatever club. When you don't have real self-esteem, when you have poor self-esteem, you are completely and utterly controlled by others. And that's what's happening in the world. And as we look at all the things that are happening, we can see that the narrative can change and you'll follow the change. We are being controlled because we don't have a sense of ourselves, a sense of who we are and love for that person that we are. Now, I want to say, I think there's two aspects of us. I believe that I am a soul. I believe that I'm a soul that is incarnated. And I believe you are too, because from what I know, that's the only way you can get to the earth. You are a soul that is incarnated. And somehow when we're a baby and we're like this, we know we have a new soul. This is a cute soul. Then we forget that we're soul. And we start taking on what I call a personality. That's what I've been taught it was called, a personality. And the personality is, okay, I'm no longer a soul. I'm now a woman. I'm a little girl. And my name is Vickie. And I like this and I like that. And I start putting on this persona of the thing that I am. Now, what I do know is that when I die, Vickie, the personality is going to die, but the soul of me lives on. The soul of me goes back to heaven because that's where I came from. I came from heaven, so to speak, and I'm back down. So I'm trying to speak in general terms. If you believe in reincarnation, great, just keep up there. But I need you to understand that for me, the epiphany that happened was I had lost connection with my soul. My soul of me loves me. It is love. It's divine love. It's the gift of God of me that made me perfectly. My personality that isn't me, it could be flawed. It has a negative thinking mind that comes with it, and it negatively thinks over and over again. And what happens is that I lose myself. But what is the self that I'm losing? It's not my mind. It's the soul of me. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are the things that I've learned from my teacher. The soul of you is actually who you are. The soul of you, that's who you are, right? So what does the soul have that we have forgotten? The soul has self-love, real deep self-love. And that self-love rises above all duality. It rises above violence. It rises above knowledge. It rises above everything. It is how you become #woke. So what happens is I realize that most unkindnesses are all ego driven, right? And I'm not saying anything you don't know, but I am talking about what we don't practice. We don't practice getting to the core of real love. Because if you've seen somebody who really loves themselves, if you've seen somebody who really understands and actually has a sense of self, they do not become violent. They don't judge people. They're not like, she's this and look at that and blah, blah, blah. Somebody who loves themselves has discernment. They have boundaries. Thank you. And they're always about love. Look at all the great teachers. Martin Luther King, all about love. Mother Teresa, all about love. Princess Diana, all about love. That one key thing comes out of your soul. It doesn't come out of your mind. Your mind does not know how to love. It barely knows how to think. But we have a tendency to override what we know and who we are with knowledge. We think the more smart we are, the better we are. Look at me, I'm so clever. I can outthink you. I can outsmart you. And the only thing that does is make your ego bigger. You're hiding. When I see somebody who's trying to impress me with knowledge, right away I know they have bad self-esteem. That's really what's the plague on the planet now, is bad self-esteem. And I think that because we have bad self-esteem, I think every media outlet knows we have bad self-esteem. I think every political person that rises above that knows that we don't think much of ourselves. So there's a group of the masses that can't think for themselves. And when they see something happen, they can be pushed by an incident instead of discerning by an incident. The other day, I saw this video on YouTube of a young Black man with a mask on because he was being socially distanced and respectful. And on the corner, he saw these bricks laid down like they were getting ready for construction. And he knew right then, he was like, you got to be smarter than that. We're not this stupid. You got to be smarter than that. The other day I was on this corner and those bricks weren't there. Those bricks were not there. You got to be smarter than that. He knew at that point because he had self-awareness. And what I thought that was interesting is that when you have true self-love, real true self-love, you have more self-awareness. You have awareness of you and awareness of other. When you have true self-love, you have the ability to be vulnerable, and it's just okay. You embrace your humanness. Right now, I'm having a human experience. I don't want to hide some things and then, puff out other things. That's not the human experience. That's the ego experience. And they're two different experiences. And if you want deeper relationships, if you want more success, if you want more of you, you have to invite you out. You have to invite you out in the world. And guess what? You aren't your brain. You aren't your thoughts. You aren't how much you know. You aren't how much you're capable of. You're not how much you have. You're not that fancy car. You're not the job. You're not the career. You're not your degree. That's all of that is made up stuff for the personality to feel sort of good about itself. The real truth is that you're human. And if you take all your degrees and all your knowledge and all the other stuff that you think make you so important and so great and so successful, it's like, I sold 16 houses. Now I'm somebody. I'm finally somebody. And I remember falling for that trap. I remember when I was a police officer, one of the things that helped me have more self-esteem, when I went to go apply for that, there were 900 people applying for 12 positions as a police officer. 900. And I was number 7 out of 900 that got picked out of all those people. And that one thing I felt so pompous about, but it made me feel finally like I was important enough to like me a little bit. And then when I became a police officer, I thought, okay, I'm finally somebody. Like I wasn't somebody before. We hide behind all our careers and all our successes and everything else, and we don't get to the humanity of who we are. And I see you guys all over here. I'm looking at this, never looked at it from the angle before. Interesting, makes a ton of sense. Thank you. So what I'm looking for is creating self-love. True, authentic self-love is the way to success and peace and harmony and everything else. Why? Because true self-love slays your ego. It slays the lies. It moves the mask off your eyes. You have to accept that you are just a meat suit. You have a personality. Here I am. And in this case, hi, I'm Deb Wolf. But underneath Deb Wolf, she's going to be gone in this lifetime. And who's left there? The soul of you is. And that is the most powerful part of you that we ignore. We ignore the most powerful parts of us. What does the soul of you have? Let me tell you all the gifts of you that you ignore or use only in an emergency. So self-love is just a divine right. It's not, I'm human, therefore I'm self-love. You are self-love. And what we haven't done with self-love is let it out of ourselves. We don't remember how to let self-love out. But self-love is very gentle. It's very kind. It's not powerless and weak. It's not like a doormat. Self-love has a lot of inner strength. You become stronger when you understand who you really are. And what you're really seeking is you. So here's what the soul does. The soul is the great observer, and it's a great witness. And it doesn't judge. It just watches, and it just is looking, and it moves. It has direct knowing. It has absolute direct knowing. When you feel that alignment in you come in and you're like, oh God, I'm so aligned. I'm so excited. Oh my God, that's your soul telling you, yes, go that way, go that way, go that way. And when something ain't right, and you feel it over here in your gut and everything else, and they're telling you and your brain's listening, but your soul is like, just say no, just say no, just say no. It has direct knowing. We fight that. Our brain comes on and goes, but if I don't, but if I don't, but if I do, but if I don't, I have to, because that's what your brain does. The soul says, just say no, just say no, just say no. We have a tendency to override what our soul is saying with our thinking. We like to say that our thoughts are better than our soul self. And that way, that's the first annihilation of self-love. When you don't trust yourself to listen to you, when you don't trust the information that comes on and your mind goes, but we need to, but we have to, but what if we don't, but I need the money, but I did, but. And the second we disregard our soul, we have distrusted our own innate being, the thing that is trying to tell us how to get there and what to do. So the second thing soul has is direct access. If you're praying from your soul and you're going through your heart, let me tell you something, your brain doesn't have access to God. So your brain doesn't have access to God. Your heart and your soul has access to God. Your brain's just kind of like this organ in your body. It's like your arm. Your arm doesn't have access to God. Your fingers don't have access to God. Your heart has access to God. Your heart has the way to the divine. Your heart has the way you open your heart and source comes in. There are two ways that we go ahead and we realize that soul of us is there. But when you first argue with the soul and you disregard it, you've cut yourself off from divine information. There's no divine intervention. Your ego has come up and said, oh, by the way, I'm the most powerful. I'm now the Wizard of Oz. And if you listen to me, I will give you more negativity than you can handle. So when we look at self-love, I want to just go down. I see you guys, all of you are talking. I've been teaching the importance of self-love for many years. Our soul is where the beauty of us is located. That is right. Good morning. Hey, good morning, few. It's always pure. We work from the space we model to others and give them unspoken permission to do the same. But we don't often see the epiphany I had today. Hey, Ryan, nice to see you on. The epiphany I had today was how I ignore my own soul, and that damages my self-love. Because self-love, I want to let you know, you cannot seek self-love through knowledge. It will not happen. You have to seek love, self-love through self-acceptance. Self-acceptance, the biggest part of it. Donnie, I see you, baby, and I got to go see what you got. I am soul. The soul, I soul am the observer. Thank you. I soul am the observer. I become smothered by the shadow of the ego and the mind. I have forgotten I am soul. I've forgotten to look up into the light of the shadow below has captured my focus and attention. And that's what happens. You are the scripter of your life. And there are parts of you that you can access that will bring you self-love. But imagine right now what the world would be like if we all had really true, deep self-love. And I want to let you know how the mind cuts you off from the love of yourself. The mind says you're nothing. And the only way you're going to be somebody or be something is if you change who you are. And so we start on this personal development trap where we're like, okay, I'm nothing, I'm not great. I got to achieve in order to be somebody. So what do we want to achieve? More success, more success. That's what I want to achieve. And more success doesn't ever bring balance. It only brings accolades. In order for you to achieve more success, you have to learn about who you are inside. What makes you tick? What do you want? How you're going to grow? These things this is the most necessary thing. You're never going to know the truth of what is happening because propaganda isn't about truth. It's about stirring the pot and creating confusion. So if you're in a world that's confused right now, the only way through this is to listen to the soul of you tell you where you need to be, what you need to do, who you need to listen to, where you're going to go. Trust in you. If your mind comes up and goes, no, that's not going to work. That you don't have anything to say. Nothing you say is good. Or if you get to the point where your self-esteem is so bad and soul says you need to do this and you go, but I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not fast enough. I'm too fat. I'm too thin. I'm too skinny. Whatever it is that you want to say about you and the why you can't do something, you are ignoring the thing that is actually you. You aren't this body. You aren't this mind. You aren't this lifetime. You're going to die and cease to be whatever personality you are. And the soul of you is going to come out. If it knows the way to get to heaven, and why can't it know the way around earth right now? Why can't it know that? Why is it that we have been ignoring the most powerful part of us? I will tell you this. It's the most number one thing that you're going to need for the future. It is the thing that is going to create relationships, but it's going to be able to create equanimity as well. In all this chaos, if you have your soul and you are with your soul and you're with your truth and you accept who you are, only self-love is in there, you will understand that your next move or your next action, the next thing you're supposed to do, what Oprah says, take your next best step, will come from here. The next best step, not the next easiest step, not the next avoiding step, the next best step. And sometimes that next best step isn't easy. Learning self-love is about understanding kind of the anatomy of the human spirit as well. The anatomy of who you are, who you serve, why you serve. Everything about you is here in this earth school. And the delineation mark about succeeding at self-love, just imagine, I mean, really, let's just take a moment right now. Just imagine if the president of the United States gave every single American $1 million right now. Let's just say the president gave everybody $1 million. And just sit with that for a second. You'd be from nowhere to millionaire overnight. Period. And I want you to feel the feeling of what it would be like if you got a check that was directly deposited in your account. Here's $1 million. How would you feel? Part of you would feel relieved. You'd be like, oh, my problems are over. I don't care what happens in the world. I'm tucked here with my family. I got my $1 million and I'm safe. Good. If you understand and have access to your soul, really, truly, if you understand the power of who you are in your soul, that relief that you would feel having that $1 million is the relief you feel because you'll know what to do. You know how to access that and go there. You have that prosperity. You have that relief. You have that mind. Don't let anyone steal your attention. And in order to do that, you have to kind of pull your attention back inwardly and ask yourself, do I love me undyingly? Because I understand for me, that is a conversation that I have over and over. How can I improve my self-love? Not my ego. It's not about how much you learn. It's about having a little emotional intelligence and a little compassion and empathy for who you are. And the second that you can have that a little bit, Then you understand how hard it is to be on the earth. Then suddenly you understand how hard it is for them to be on the earth, and them and them and them and them and them and them and them. And suddenly your compassion grows. Your compassion for who you are and your compassion for others. It grows and grows and grows. And you stop looking for the story of what secret code to uncover about the government and everything else. And you start paying attention to hear about what's there for you and what's there for the world, how you're supposed to serve. So this week, when your soul says something and your mind comes on and says, no, 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 but, you're not good. No, you can't, no, 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 you can't. I want to let you know, if the devil or sin is anything, it's the voice that tells you you are incapable of serving God or serving humanity or serving you or finding out how or fixing the issue. Whatever you tell yourself that you can't, if the devil is anything, he's not the person who wants you to achieve or even love yourself in a little bit. If the great ignorance is anything, it's the ability to ignore how powerful and how loving and kind you actually are. So if everybody took all the stuff away that made you great or successful, or that you were finally somebody, and you sat down for a minute and said, who am I? Who am I really? If you're not this personality, who am I really? And if you could say, I love the nothingness of my beingness, then you can embrace self-love and humanity within your heart. I see you all there. Thank you for all the comments. Today was a personal day. I wanted to really follow up with stuff and things. And so I'm going to pop over here and say hello to a bunch of you. 4 paradigms of EQ, fear. I want to go here because I think this is Ryan. 4 paradigms of emotional intelligence: fear, duty, achievement, integrity. I want to say good morning, Robert Stern. Nice to see you on. He's in the house. And oh, I love this. Fu Chan, self-love has to come from a space of acknowledging that I may be wrong. Then you begin the healing process. Yes. And I think for right now, inside of this, I like this too. See the body as a vehicle, not the driver. Yes, but see the mind as a vehicle and not the driver. The soul of you, when it drives, has the answer. The mind loves to contemplate and have something to think about. So to me, see the soul as the driver and not the mind as the driver. The bumper sticker. If God is your co-pilot, you're in the wrong seat. Yes, that's right. Thank you, girlfriend. So looking for you, Robert, when you do things from soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy, Rumi. I want to say this is so true. This is so true. And what we're missing right now is the understanding that we are soul. Scott's here, and I want to, pull up what he has to say because I love his stuff. This is very difficult conversation to have simply because the man is barred from access to soul unless he surrenders to a Sat Guru and allows the multi-decade, multi-lifelong process of purification. Before access to the soul is given, graced, so sacred is the experience and your own soul, which is perfect. It's the copy of the greatest Lord on high. Yes, I agree with that. I think we can't do that by ourselves right now. And so I want to go here and go, be still, listen to your soul and not your brain. That's the whole point of meditation. That's why meditation is so powerful. Meditation happens and the soul can show up because your mind is not thinking and trying to control everything 100% of the time. Your brain will lie to you in a heartbeat. It'll tell you you can't do something when you can. So you can't. You are not worthy. Horse hockey. I want to let you know, for Karen, that's a big cuss word. Horse hockey. I'm going to use that one today. The horse, see, look at this. I'm chuckling at the horse hockey. Yes, me too. So what I want to tell you is you are more powerful than you know. You're more gentle than you know. And if you feel like you're nobody, you are more apt to hurt somebody. If you feel like you're judging people and you think you're better than people or less than people, you are not within your soul, you're within your ego. Your ego and your mind do that. And right now, that two things, ego and mind, are crazy and running amok. And the only way to bring back sanity, equanimity, power, purpose, and prosperity is to go back into your heart and remember that you are soul, that you are a soul. You know, Wayne Dyer, who I love, he said one thing that I thought was so powerful, and I've said it before a bajillion times, but I'm going to share it again. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. When you give your attention to something, you're acting from your soul. When you go this way and you look at something, right, like this, that attention is all of you, everything, all your focus, everything goes there. And it makes that thing more real. When you pull your attention away from it, it dies off. Because most things that we give attention to right now are opinions, speculations, stories, concepts, and beliefs. None of those things are real. They're all changeable. And I want to leave you with that today. Today is about growing sanity. Thank you for being with me, everybody. I love you so much. Mwah! Wednesday welcome guest, Brad. Brad Yates is coming on, and he's going to be the next step in helping us go deeper and retrain our brains and things that we look at. Tomorrow's Wednesday welcome is going to be powerful and awesome, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Have a great time. Bye. Be safe out there. You know what I mean? I mean, like, really, be